We are back with another episode of Your Relationship Sucks! Exclamation point. Very excited. Again, for people who are just tuning in, or if you've been here, whatever, I'm going to remind you, this is raw reaction to relationships, trying to help people out, trying to give them good advice, all those things. But this is actual raw relationships, literally off the cuff, off the top of my head, whatever's happening. You're going to get me just as it's coming at me. I haven't seen this. Audience hasn't seen this. You have seen this. We do, just as a reminder, we do have the podcast. We do have the YouTube. Please, rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff to those. That does help us out. But let's jump into it. Let's get into initial impressions. Hit me with it. What do you got?
Today, it is my 20-year-old female husband, 34-year-old male, wants
Nice.
kids and thinks I tricked him because I can't have them. All I'm going to say is this is not the last time you're going to be laughing about this, which but you do your initial impression.
I can't even do, I'm genuinely not somebody who laughs like that often, honestly. I don't laugh out loud that often. You know what I mean? I'm kind of.
No, I can confirm that he doesn't laugh, and it's almost really disheartening as the person who says the jokes. So
yeah, 100%.
The fact that you do this so freely in front of me all the time is just a real fuck you.
But that's the thing. I don't do it with movies and with us. I enjoy things, right? I enjoy things. But I'm not very good at doing the emotional response to that sort of stuff, right? So I'm a terrible audience member.
A low key chuckle is usually about a high praise as you give.
Yeah, 100%, and that's totally fine. I'm okay with that. You know what I mean? But it doesn't make me a good audience member. I'm not a good audience member. It's not good or whatever. This show, I've laughed more at this show. Since we've been doing it, then I think I've laughed at anything ever. some of the biggest laughs of my life have been on this show for questions like that. I'm trying not to force it. You know what I mean? I'm not trying to be I need to laugh. That's just genuinely what happens because I don't this is the raw reaction. I don't know what's coming. I have no idea. And so when you hit me with something like that, I don't even know. I don't even know what you do with that. I don't even know what you do. There's so much happening there that I can't even tell what to unpack for my initial reaction. I'm not even sure what I'm supposed to be feeling. That's my initial reaction, is that I can't figure out what I'm supposed to be feeling because this is these things are so foreign to me. You know what I mean? These problems that people have. It's not because I'm better at this. It's because I don't do real life enough. I don't do relationships enough where I get to encounter these things or, whatever. So I don't even know what was that, but that's a fucking ludicrous thing to say. You know what I mean?
No, it's not that it's not that I don't realize it's a serious topic. It's just I never knew this was an issue that could ever exist on this topic.
But this is my point. It almost can't be a serious topic. I can't.
No, it's not. At this, and it's not going to be.
Serious. I can't be serious about it. I can't take you fucking seriously as a person. This is a problem. Think about it. This is a problem for you. This is something that's happening in your life. I don't understand that. That doesn't. The second that somebody's look, okay, just go. I can't. I'm gonna start before I even know the facts. Just go. I can't do this. This is fucking unbelievable. I love it already. Just hit me with it. What? I don't even know. Just tell. Go. Just go.
Okay. The too long didn't read summary is my husband thought infertility and sterility. I can't say that word. Sterile, whatever, were the same. And that even without a uterus, I could potentially have children with medical treatment. I saw the text he sent to his brother that I am less of a woman because I can't have children. The whole thing, that's the big chunk of it. When I was 16, I had a hysterectomy during a medical emergency. I am not just infertile, I am sterile. I can never have children. My husband and I have been married for about 5 years, and I have had what I thought was a pretty perfect relationship. Well, there were occasional.
Hold on. How old is this girl?
She's 27.
Oh, 27. Okay, all right. Okay, go ahead. Okay. Sorry, I misheard it. I thought
they've been married for 5 years.
Yep,
good relationship. Yeah. Well, there are occasional ups and downs. We rarely fight. We connect on every single level, and he's my best friend. From the beginning of our relationship, I told him I was not ever interested in having children. I made my lack of a uterus very clear, and I was certain at the time that there was no doubt in his mind that I couldn't have children. 2 years ago, his sister had a baby, and she's a delight. We all love and dote on her. We babysit her a few times a month, even though we both didn't want children of our own. We love caring for our niece. However, over the months, I've noticed a change in my husband, especially since quarantine started. He'll talk about having a family and seems more open to the prospect of children. Every time he brings it up, I remind him that biological children are impossible, but that we could eventually look into adoption or fostering. He'll usually drop it after that, but a few weeks later, he'll talk about it again. 3 days ago, he sat me down and told me he wants to look into fertility treatments for me. We're religious, so he told me that in vitro fertilization and a surrogate were off the table, but there are other medical treatments we could consider. I was very taken aback and told him that those treatments wouldn't work for me since I don't have a uterus. He didn't believe me, so I had to find articles to show him that I truly couldn't ever have a child. He apparently thought...
Did he not think that she had... He didn't believe that the uterus is what has the baby? Or he didn't think that she had her uterus taken out?
No.
That's a little open-ended. I understand that, but that's a little open-ended. I understand where the next line's going. I'm just saying the way she's worded that has made me think that he's skeptical that she even had the hysterectomy in the first place.
No, I think the way it's worded is more saying that if someone doesn't have a uterus, like he doesn't get that they can't have a kid.
I'm understanding that, and I'm understanding you're going to keep reading, and it's going to, the very next line is going to tell me that she found some sort of meme that says, I don't have a vagina, so I can't have a kid or whatever.
No,
like it's going to say something like that. I get where it's going. I'm saying, I think this guy is maybe a little skeptical that she actually had a hysterectomy. Like, I think that's
I guess the reading of that's not what I got, but I could see that being true as well. I mean, I can see that with this dude being like part of it.
Okay, all right, go keep going.
He apparently thought that being sterile and infertile were the same, and that although I couldn't get pregnant, that with treatment we could have kids one day when he was ready for them. He has barely spoken to me in 3 days. I understand this is a massive bomb to drop on someone and that it was never my intention at all. I've tried to be there for him, but he keeps pushing me away. I ended up looking through his iMessage on his computer when he was in the shower, which I know is wrong and those are private and I regret it. He had texted his brother about how he doesn't want to adopt because he doesn't want to raise another man's child. He also alluded to me being less of a woman because I can't have his children. Those are words I never expected to read. It's extremely out of character for my husband to behave like this, and I'm at a loss of what to do. Any attempt at communication is shut down. I know it's only been 3 days, but I'm terrified he'll pack up and leave me because I can't have his children. Where do I even start to try and fix this?
Oh, dear Lord. Okay. So I made a decision while you were listening to this that I don't care about doing the whole, we're going to discuss what you're allowed to do and what you can't do and what's morally okay and all that bullshit. Everybody else can deal with that. Like what this guy should or shouldn't say, like all that stuff. I don't fucking, so if you're listening to this and you expect me to go into that, I don't fucking care, right? Like none of that shit matters, okay? I'm going to focus on this woman, okay? Hold on. First, let me say this. I actually am okay with the guy not understanding the difference between infertile and being sterile, Because if you're a dude who has never really thought about having a kid, or I guess a woman as well who's never really thought of having a kid, both of those sound like the same thing. I'm okay with him thinking that they're the same thing. I'm a little less okay with him thinking that they both mean you can have a kid, because sterile means no. So if somebody said to me, I'm infertile, honestly, before you read this question, I probably would have been like, oh, so they can't have kids, right? Like that's where I would have gone. Okay. So I would have done the other side. I'm a little concerned about this gentleman because he's like, sterile means that you can still have kids. No, sterile means it's clean. Like sterile means none, right? Like that's what sterile means. So I'm okay with him thinking they're the same thing, not okay with the conclusion that he came to. That's concerning to me. But here's my problem, okay? Here's my problem. A couple of things. The big one is this woman said, and again, I'm only going based on what she says in her description, right? So that's all I know. That's all I can go off of, okay? What she said was, the very first thing she said about having children, the very first thing she said was, I told him I had zero interest in having a kid ever. That was the very first thing she said. And then the very next line was, and I explained to him that I couldn't. Those are two completely different things. Okay? Completely different. Like those are 100% different. For you to say I'm sterile and I don't want children, those are two different things. A little later on, she said that she had brought up at some point, she had discussed potentially adopting.
Yeah, but that's I think that was after.
But no, that's a fucking, yes, it was. That's a mixed fucking message. If you tell this guy up front, I don't want to have children. No, I'm serious. Think about this shit. If I'm going to get married to somebody, okay, and they say, I am not having children. I have no desire to have children, none of that. What that tells me is that if I accept that, and if I marry them, there will be no children of any kind at all.
That's what she told him.
But then later, she said that she talked about adopting.
After he came to her and was like, I thought what you were saying meant that we could try if I wanted kids later.
Yes, I understand.
So it sounds
that.
like he agreed, and then he's the one who started.
You're not understanding what I'm saying. You're not understanding what I'm saying.
No, I'm not.
What I'm saying is, she either lied to him. Okay, she either lied to him at the beginning and said, I don't want to have children, or she didn't make it as clear as she's claiming that she made it at the very beginning. Because the very first thing she said was, I'm not having children. And then she spent the rest of the time going, maybe I'll have kids.
No, it sounds like he lied about him not wanting children. And when he came to her and was like, I want children, she then went back to the table and was like, if you need this, this is what we can do because you won't give up on it. That's the series of events. He's the one who came back and was like, oh, now I want a kid because I've been around my niece.
Oh, yeah, okay, that's fine. What I'm saying is, she told him at the beginning, I'm not having children. And then she fucking changed her mind, but she's making it sound like she didn't change her mind. Because again, the very next thing she said was, I am incapable of having. So she said, look, I told him from the very beginning. And that's fine. Like that part I believe.
I'm not getting totally why, if her husband really wants children and he changes her mind, why she can't be okay with that. That's the part that I'm not understanding. Why you're hung up on it.
What I'm saying is, I can't fucking believe what she's saying. I can't believe the fucking tale that she's spinning for me, because she's saying, I told him I'm not having children. Not that I can't. That I'm.
But he told her that too.
Okay. I guess maybe I missed that part. They
agreed on it. They agreed to not have kids in the beginning of their marriage. And then he's the one who started talking about it. She didn't start talking about it until after he was like, okay, now let's have kids. And her solution, because the person that she loves wanted kids, was like, I can't have kids, but if you must have a kid, I'm open to adoption. That was a series of events that happened. That's why I'm not understanding. They agreed not to have kids. She thought that he understood that. Then he said,
I don't, but I guess this is my point. I don't think that I believe that they agreed they wouldn't have kids. I know that's what she said. I don't think I believe that. I don't think this guy understood what he was getting into. What I'm saying is, I don't think she communicates as well as she likes to pretend. And I don't think she made it as clear as she's trying to claim now about what their agreement was. I genuinely don't believe
it. I don't know if I would need to continue to explain to someone, if I'm like, I don't have a uterus, I can't have kids. Yeah. I wouldn't know they weren't understanding that. I wouldn't know that her husband, that the person I was with was so dumb that I would need to continue, really go hard and be like, I'm literally incapable multiple times. The direct quote was that, he just assumed that eventually they could do medical treatments, so then she might be able to have kids later whenever he felt like it, whenever it was fine.
Right. This is my point. This is my point right there. He never agreed. He always had in the back of his mind that they
because I don't think
kids.
He wasn't being honest is what the issue is. It's not her issue.
That's what I disagree with. I agree with you that he wasn't being honest, but I think she's selling you a bill of goods in saying that I was so super clear and I did exactly this. I made it this is exactly what I said.
This dude seems really dumb. That's why I just I believe it.
What I'm saying is I don't believe that she said I'm not having kids. I think she said I can't have kids. And now she's changing her story and she's trying to claim at the very beginning I told him I'm not having kids. I think she said to him, I don't have a uterus. I can't have kids. She thought that implied she wouldn't have kids. And so that's what the agreement was. What I'm saying is I think she's lying about that part, or she's massaging the message, whatever, because obviously this guy never really believed that she wouldn't have kids. He never believed it. He literally never believed it. Because to your point, he kept saying, what's up with your vagina, right? And he probably did the Michael Scott thing where he's like, yeah, you got a hysterectomy, so they took your vagina out? And she's like, no. And he's like, oh, we have a vagina, so you can have a kid.
I'm really struggling why you're jumping to the conclusion that the communication was on her end when he could have asked questions and he clearly didn't. He clearly didn't even Google.
You just said he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know what questions to ask. That's my point. You're just saying, you're saying he's an idiot, but then you're like, well, he should be asking good questions. He can't. He's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know that you have to have a uterus to have a fucking kid. He doesn't understand that. That's my point. What I'm saying is you are ascribing too much to him. And what I'm saying is she did the same thing. She thought by making it clear that her uterus did not exist, that she was signing up to say, I am not having children. But he said, in the back of his mind, well, that just means she doesn't want to have children because she still has the ability, right? If I change my mind, she still has the ability. So it sounds to me like he was saying, well, our agreement is that it's up to me if we have children. Whereas in this fucking fact pattern that she's giving us, she's saying, I told him it was off the table. I don't think that's what she told him. She may have tried to imply that, but what I'm saying is I think she's interpreting it wrong.
But there was, from the beginning of our relationship, he told me he was not ever interested in having children.
There's plenty of dudes who say that. There's plenty of dudes who say that it's not actually true. Here's the thing. The people that I know who don't have children at older ages have continued to stick to that line. There was never really a time. Every once in a while, they'll play with their niece or they'll do something, whatever, and they'll be like, it might be all right to have kids, and then 6 minutes in, they're like, actually, this is a fucking disaster. I would never want to do this. What I'm saying is, this is a guy, this is a dude who doesn't know anything. He doesn't know what's going on in his life. Again, to your point, he's stupid. I agree with you. He's dumb. He's not a smart human being. This is what I'm saying. He was not prepared he wasn't going in saying that he didn't really understand what he was saying. What I'm saying is she's trying to make it seem more clear that what she said was, I've already made up my mind. And then she's saying, well, he definitely made up his mind. I don't think he had his mind made up. That's my point. I think he was trying to say, well, if this girl says we're not going to have a kid, then if I say that, I can sleep with her. And, like, that's what I want to do. Because that's what dudes do. I'm telling you right now. Like, plenty of dudes do that.
Yeah, but, I mean, in other scenarios, you would be saying, well, like, he wasn't being honest and he was lying. And that'd be a bigger thing for you. But that's not in this case.
Right, because like, that's why I stated that at the very beginning. I was like, I don't need to go through any of the shit that he's doing because it's obvious the ways in which he is wrong, right? I don't need to rehash the ways in which he is wrong.
Yeah.
Unless you want me to, in which case, fine. I'll fucking tell you, yeah, I'll fucking...
No, I mean, that's not really what I'm getting into. It's just like you're going real hard on her about something. Yeah, I'm not really like...
Because everybody's going to jump on that fucking line that says, like, this dude is like, she's less of a woman. No, she's fucking not, dude. She's not less of a woman, okay?
That's not what I was going to get. That's not what I was talking about. I'm talking about him lying about, like, not wanting kids and all of a sudden wanting them, and then her being like...
She's lying right now. She's lying right now. She's trying to make herself sound better. That's what I'm saying. Her fact pattern is not truthful. That's what I'm saying. She's trying to imply, or actually she's trying to flat out state too much about what she made clear at the beginning of the relationship. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying she was too definitive. She is too definitive in that fact pattern about what actually transpired at the beginning. Because this guy is not someone who is smart enough to have entered into a marriage in which both parties had agreed not to have children. That's my point. This guy's a fucking idiot. She probably shouldn't be with him. I don't understand how you're in a house with somebody for 3 days, you don't fucking talk to them. I don't get it. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's bad communication. Like, I don't even know what her question is, honestly. Like, I can't even remember.
I mean, we talked about what giving the silent treatment is to someone, and that sounds like what he's doing. You know, that's emotional terrorism. So
yeah, I mean, like, this guy's a prick. Again, like, this is why I didn't want to rehash this, specifically because it's very obvious in the ways in which he is wrong. Like, it's very obvious. And if she has tried to communicate with him over those 3 days and he's just saying, like, no, I'm just not going to talk to you, then don't let somebody disrespect you like that. You know, you don't have to agree. You can argue, you can do whatever, but don't fucking have somebody disagree with you to the point in which they say, I am not going to treat you with respect as a person. Like, just don't do it. You know, that's my advice. Don't do it. I don't understand. Like, tell them, like, hey, look, if you're not going to talk to me, then I'm fucking out of here. Like, I'm done. I'm not dealing with this shit. We're not doing it. You should have done that after fucking 1 day. You know, whatever. Give them some time to cool off. That's my point. That's why the reason that I stated that at the beginning is to say, like, I don't want this. I was trying to not have this discussion go in that particular manner, specifically because that's the easy way to talk about this, right? Is that this guy's a fucking prick. Like, this guy's doing all the wrong things. Everything this guy did was wrong, right? Literally everything this guy did was wrong, and he's still doing wrong things. He's still not talking to his wife, right? Like, I mean, they are married and he's not talking to her, you know? I can't stand that shit. Like, yeah, that's fucking stupid. You know, to tell somebody else that your wife is less of a person because they, in order to save their fucking life, they had to give up the ability to have a child, makes you a fucking scumbag. Like, this guy is a fucking scumbag. That's my point. But that's why I was trying to say, I don't want to have that discussion. That's why I went hard on her. That's why I'm saying, let's have a discussion about something that's a little bit different. Because my guess is everybody who talks about this,
I'm not denying that, but it's just, I was having trouble literally following where you were getting from point A to point B. Like, you're saying, I mean, like, you normally, like, you're one not to, like, read into it. So, like, and today that's what we did a little bit. But then also, like, you're just like, I'm not even getting back into how he handled it later. Yeah. I'm getting into the actual, let's talk about this. He's the one who very clearly stated he didn't want to have kids. I get your point. I will acknowledge, yes, she's like, her story's too consistent. It doesn't matter to me if a dude, like, is saying that I don't want to have kids, and in the back of his mind, he's thinking someone else, and that's his fucking problem. Like, that's not her problem. If she said, I can't have kids, even if she said, I don't want them, she's saying, I don't have kids because I have a fucking uterus. Google. Like, you don't have to be a moron to Google. Like, I mean, you don't have to be, like, a genius to Google. You can, like, it doesn't take very much. The 5-year-olds I've nannied have more ability to Google and remember these facts than this, like, 31-year-old man. Like, if you decide to change the contract and once you decided to get married, then like you're kind of an asshole for that too. Like, it's not just going to be a simple fix. Like, what I'm shocked about here is that she's still like, how do I save my marriage? That someone, your point.
Right. Go ahead. No, you're on the roll. I'm sorry.
No,
I shouldn't have interrupted.
To your point that this is someone who is like disrespecting you on level of a person, but also like not even being honest with you. I mean, if we're not even getting into the fact that he probably shouldn't have any children, because like this is going to lead to a lot of problems with like future generations of just ability to function. Yep. I just don't think that that's necessary. And then specifically on procreation seems to be a huge issue for his understanding. Like, I'm pretty sure he doesn't understand where he's supposed to stick his penis. I'm a little confused as to like if he can even physically understand how to make a baby. That's a genuine concern for me. But I mean, it just, I get your point.
I think he proved that he literally does not physically know how a baby is made. I think that's actually accurate.
To your point, I will reluctantly say, I guess she underestimated how stupid the person she was with is. And how she needed to say this, like, I don't understand it. It sounded like in her story that she explained this like at several different touch points, and he didn't get it until she literally had to show him like a scientific article. Like,
what she said, what she explained to him on multiple points. And again, this is, I agree with you. I love that you got fired up. I'm honestly, I'm glad that you were like, this guy's a fucking idiot. Like, not him, me. Like, you were saying that to me today. Like, I'm super glad that happened. My entire point with this whole thing is everybody's going to look at this and say, this guy sucks, right? Which is true. We don't need to have that fucking conversation. I mean, we did, but like, it was an unnecessary conversation for us to have, right? Because,
and I get that. I wasn't even talking about the end. I wasn't trying to get into that part, but yeah, whatever.
I'm not blaming you. I'm saying, yeah, he's a fucking scumbag. I mean, yeah, great. My point is what she explained to him multiple times. What she explained to him multiple times in her fact pattern was that she biologically could not have a child, right? I don't know if biologically is the right word, but she didn't have a uterus. She couldn't have a kid.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
That's the part she explained. The very first thing she said was, I'm not going to have children. So I assumed that at some other point, she would bring that back up. And she never brought it back up. That's my point. Because she kept explaining to him that, hey, I can't have a kid. Can't, not won't, can't. That leads me to believe she never really said, I won't. But now she's trying to tell you that she said that. And now she's trying to say that was the agreement.
Yeah.
I don't think that was the agreement, because she kept having to say to him, and again, I know he's stupid, like I get that, but she kept having to say to him, I can't have kids, not I won't have kids. The fact that she never said that for a second time, and I see where you were going with that, like you were like, I'm reading into it. I don't think I was reading into it. I was literally looking at the word she said, and she never said the word won't again. She literally never, she said the bit, but my point was, it was the first fucking thing she said.
Yeah.
She was like, I laid down the law, I won't. And then she just never came up again. And I was like, well, where the fuck did that go? Like, you never had another conversation with him where you were like, hey, by the way, I won't do it. Like, it was like that never happened again. You know what I mean? And so that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Like, look,
fair enough. I can see your point to that. I am understanding it better.
No, it's fine. Like, look, like you disagree with me, and that's totally fine. That's totally fine.
But I don't completely, now that you say it like that, I see what you're saying. However, I don't know. It seems like you're like, it's a semantic issue a little bit for me personally.
But the reason I was doing the semantics was to say, when you get these types of questions, when you encounter these types of situations in your life, right? This is where I was trying to get to.
Yeah.
When all of those things happen, you need to be fucking look at the semantics of what's happening. You need to be pedantic about what's happening, because issues are not black and white. That's my point, right? It is very black and white that this guy's a fucking scumbag. I don't need to tell anybody that. Bro, you're a scumbag. Stop treating your wife like she's fucking subhuman. It's not that difficult. Like, just, hey, here's an idea. If you marry somebody, don't treat them like they're not human. But rule number one of being fucking married. I don't know. Like, that shit's not difficult, right? That's not rocket science. But my point with all of it is, let's dig into what she's saying and understand that even somebody who is objectively in the right in this situation, even though technically she's not, because she's still, you know, like you said, she's still like, how do I get him back? I'm like, don't. You know, he fucking left. Good for you.
Yeah.
He dodged the bullet there. Even somebody who is objectively in the right may have something that you need to look at in order to say, okay, you might not be able to see the truth because you might not be understanding the full breadth of the issue, right? And so that sounds to me like she's saying that's why I was trying to dig into that and say that. And you know, but again, I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm glad you got fired up. I'm glad like all that stuff happened. But it was specifically for that. It was specifically because like you said the whole thing, and I was like, yeah, this guy's a scumbag. I don't want to talk about that. It's not interesting, right? It's not that interesting to say like, hey, don't say your wife isn't a woman or whatever. You know, like whatever. Like, yeah, check. Great. You know, like that's universal advice for anybody out there listening who wants to get married or is married. If your wife has her uterus removed, don't tell people she's not a woman anymore. I mean, that's, you know, that's pretty basic stuff, right? So that's the point where I was like, you know, it's just not interesting to bag on this guy because everybody else is going to bag on him. And yeah, fuck him, but you shouldn't need me to tell you, like, this guy sucks, you know, because obviously this guy fucking sucks.
Yeah.
Also, obviously, he's kind of stupid, right? So, but no, I think we did it. I'm glad you got fired up. I love seeing you get fired up. You were very angry. It was enjoyable for me. I liked it. You got me fired up. Hopefully the people who are listening, watching, whatever, hopefully they got fired up. And, you know, honestly, hopefully they disagreed with me. You know, you can send us an email and tell us that you disagree with me. I'm not going to listen to it, but whatever, that's fine. You can do it though.
Yeah.
So, you know,
that'll be something I'll have the joy of. So thank you.
Yeah. I mean, you can support her and, you know, do the thing and like, hey, you know, whatever, like, he's treating you like the dude's, you know, like that dude was treating his wife, you know, say whatever you want. At the end of the day, I'm not going to hear any of it because I don't care. And if she starts trying to tell me, I'll just be like, I'm going to silent treatment you for 3 days and, you know, whatever. So
emotional terrorism.
You know, that's fine. But you can send me an email of support or with a different question or whatever. If you want to, you know, you want us to break something down for you. What's the email that they can send to?
It is info.yourrelationshipsucks@gmail.com.
All right, so you can hit us up there. You know, again, please go to the podcast and rate, review, subscribe, all that stuff. I actually did look that up, so I know those are the things you're supposed to do now. You know, go to YouTube.
Ooh, look at you.
You know, yeah, I mean, this is a professional outfit that we got going on here. So, you know, go to YouTube as well, subscribe, you know, comment, all the, you know, whatever, you know, watch the stuff. Just put it on in the background, honestly. Like, just turn it, like, at night, just click it, and just let it play. You know, like, we'll put up a playlist, like, just hit the first one and just fucking let it play. Don't even watch it. You know, put it in a different room. I don't care. Like, that doesn't matter to me. You know, whatever. Like, if you never have any idea what I'm saying, I don't care. It's fun. Just hit it and let it run, and, you know, that'll be cool. But yeah, anyways, we do appreciate that. If you want to purchase a shirt, you want to get, you know, you want to get yourself a Karma Cancer t-shirt, an I Got Dennis t-shirt, whatever, hit us up at the same email. We'll get the details figured out. But otherwise, yeah, I think we did it. I think we did it today. I think you did it today, actually. I think you did it.
Yeah.
I was just along
I would say the consistent theme on all of our best episodes is me.
I mean, I'm not trying to go that far, but
Karma,
you know.
Cancer, I Got Dennis.
I will say that the 100% of the credit for the t-shirt idea, well, the t-shirt slogans, 100% has come from
the
you.
The conception 100%. Is my for like the material. Your idea to monetize it is absolutely yours.
No, 100%. I've never cited. Well, I don't know. I haven't listened to those episodes.
I know.
Maybe I tried to take credit. I'm not sure, but I don't think I've ever taken credit for it. No, that's 100% true. You hooked us up. You got the good stuff going. You know, you're like the reason that people will be able to walk around with a shirt that says "I Got Dennis" is because of you. 100%. So, props to you for that. So you did that. You did it today. I did my normal thing, whatever, but you definitely did it today. So, props to you, and we will be back next time with another, hopefully, fired up crew here to answer some more questions, and we will see everybody then.